You know what's really good?
Yes, coffee.
When you travel a lot and you fly a lot and there's nothing but plane crashes in the news and then you watch a movie
Playing upside down in Toronto.
that has 2 plane crashes in it.
That's why I watched it, actually, because of all the plane crashes in the news.
Yeah. Before we start, Tan said 8.5 all day long. 8.5 on this one.
Before she watched it?
No, like we watched it,
Okay.
and then that's her rating. So before we start this conversation, that's what she gave it,
Okay.
That's a pretty low rating for her.
Yeah, actually.
and she enjoyed it. She was like right into it.
Okay, so we have a Netflix movie. And it's Gerard Butler. He's a pilot. And it's basically the life of a pilot.
He's not believable as a pilot. No, not believable as a pilot. I knew from the second I saw him, I'm like, no, that's an action star. He looks like an action star, not a pilot. He's too buff. He looks like an action star.
Okay.
Then.
Hot take.
Hot take there.
I'm just telling you, he didn't.
Okay, Gerard Butler, historically, one of my coolest guys ever in Hollywood.
Yeah.
Okay, I like him. I was okay with him being a pilot because he was former military.
Yes.
So action star pilot, fine with me. Okay, but this is the life of a pilot. They're boarding a plane. Passengers are getting on a plane. They're talking to the air traffic control.
They're going over their checklist.
Yeah, they're talking to the guy who says, "Oh, you gotta go through this storm because we gotta save money."
Yeah, on fuel.
Oh, okay, I see where this is going. But
Wonder what's going to happen then.
but then there's one more complicating issue. Is they have a sheriff or a sheriff's deputy or somebody who's escorting a criminal to wherever they're going.
Yeah, convicted of homicide.
And it's not a
14 years
full
ago.
plane. There's only 12 people on this big plane.
14.
14 people and the criminal.
Yeah, so it might have been a repositioning flight or who knows what it was. But small crew and the criminal in the back. And they keep on focusing on the criminal in the back. And then sometimes they focus on another guy who's looking at the criminal in the back.
And you think they're working together or something.
That's something. Oh,
And I said that when we were watching it. I'm like, that guy's in on it.
yeah, something's gonna happen. What's
Nope.
gonna happen?
No.
Just a guy looking. Just a guy looking.
And by the way, the security guy is really stupid. Because he dies in the stupidest way.
Pick up his cell phone.
Whoa, I lost my phone. Oh my god, my phone's down there. The plane's doing this. He has a cell phone. Oh my god, I need my cell phone. Ian does it. Oh, dumb.
Okay, so basically you can figure out that they have to do an emergency landing. And it's, wow, great. The whole thing of the movie is they land on this island that's run by criminal gangs and stuff like that. And even the country's government is afraid to send
Yeah.
officials there because this place is completely out of control. Okay, so what did you think about the movie overall?
Well, it's a shooter. You know what? They had that tense moment when they lost control of the plane kind of thing and had to look for the plane landing spot and that. That dragged out about 8 minutes before they landed that plane in that scene. But it was tense. Like, it was intense. Oh, that can happen. Oh, this is why they would do something like that. And this kind of stuff. I didn't mind that. The whole thing about, the criminal pairing up with the pilot. He's going after them. There's about 400 armed guards and pilots going after them. I don't care what kind of military background you have. You're not going with your pistol and going hunting for 14 people.
But
You would have believed it if it was Stallone.
But if you do the leap of faith for an action movie, like every action movie does that. Every single one. So is that out of the norm?
But the way they explained, they didn't say because he's ex-military and he's been in this. He was a heavy transport pilot in the military. He's not a guy who was in the jungle like Rambo was, right?
But he did feel that captain's responsibility.
But is it though? My passengers were captured by armed military. That's my responsibility to get them back.
So, are we doing spoilers?
Obviously, he just said all the spoilers.
Yeah.
Okay. So, criminal ends up being ex-military, and he was a military criminal.
Even more ex-military.
Right? So I don't know where this decision came from, but when he was going to find the captain was going to find the communications hub to try to contact somebody, he's like, well, I've decided to take Joe Homicide with me, and unlocks his cuffs, and he's like,
Because he wanted to get him away from the other passengers.
But to take him out of the cuffs, and okay, and then you walk behind me in the jungle
while hinting around that you might kill me.
Yeah, but he's just thinking that, okay, the guy's going to take off anyway.
As he did that, my out loud comment was, well, that's a strange decision.
Yeah.
That's an odd decision.
That was building trust.
Well, anyway, so they go off into the bush, and then the captain turns around. Joe Homicide's gone. He's just disappeared. And then when he returns and finds everybody again, he's strapped with guns. He's got a stolen truck. He's got knives in his boots.
He saves the captain's life.
Saves the captain's life. So, I mean, I don't know where he went, but he scored big.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I guess he's just an ally from then on.
And one thing I appreciated was that the fight in the building that the captain got into, he almost lost.
Yeah, it was fairly realistic.
Yeah,
And I predicted, okay, this is where Joe Criminal's gonna show up and save him, but that didn't happen.
no.
Well, sort of. After he got rid of that guy, he found he had killed 2 other guys that were out front. But then they go on the adventure of rescuing the hostages and getting rid of all the guards that were there.
Some of the hostages were just over the top, though.
Oh, I hated that.
That one guy?
Yeah, the bald guy.
The bald guy and the other guy that was
Sinclair.
Like the 2 guys, right, were, hey, we just crashed in this landing. You saved our lives and everything, and we're lucky to be alive, but what are you going to do about it?
Yeah.
You know, this guy, come on. Like, let's have some common sense.
You don't think those people exist?
I think you remember the scene that they show where the pilot turned around and punched the passenger in the face? I think that would have happened many times to that guy before that situation had happened.
Well, no, he had learned his lesson.
So, no, some of that stuff is just fun. But this is a popcorn flick, Netflix film.
Okay, we recently
watch.
said that The Gorge
Yes.
on Prime. You were saying Prime movies are telling a story. They're not like Netflix movies.
Yes.
Okay. Netflix movies are all around an event.
This is all around an event.
Okay, so
Plane crashes, hostages get taken, pilot goes after him.
But you said-
Period.
would you say that this was still an enjoyable movie?
It was more enjoyable than Bridget Jones's Diary, like the latest incarnation. But it was fine. It was an okay movie. I like Gerard Butler, so that makes it, I also hate that they show plane crashes so often. And by the way, it starts with a plane crash, and it ends with another plane crash, and it's the same plane.
Well, I mean, he had to get it off the island, and
Yeah, but like, I don't know about you, but crash landing on a thin road in the middle of a jungle someplace and being able to use that plane to take off again you gotta suspend a little disbelief a lot.
The co-pilot fixed the plane.
Yes, yeah.
2 switches.
Yeah.
Oh, the breaker.
Oh, and I like how the controller's ordering him to go higher, and he says, I only have 1 engine. I can't go any higher or faster.
Yeah. So, and I was wondering how they were going to get the plane in the air again, since when they were landing the first time, they did a fuel dump.
No, it didn't dump. That's why he said we're a flaming candle.
From one of the wings.
Yeah.
It wasn't.
Okay.
Yeah, they
So
couldn't
still has some
empty
fuel
it.
then.
Yeah.
All right.
So I think this was a fairly enjoyable movie.
I enjoyed it.
A Netflix
There were some
for
things
a
where I
net-
was like, ugh.
It was much better than most Netflix movies out there. They stuck with 1 star, and they didn't there's not a cast of 12.
Yeah.
And that makes it over the top and ridiculous.
When the
right?
captain was coming out of the plane at the very end, and all of the passengers were sort of getting, fixed up for their bumps and bruises and everything, and he comes out of the plane, and all of the passengers are like,
Now, at that point, didn't you think they were going to John Wick for that? At the one point, he's
Thought
on
he
the
was gonna kill them
plane,
all?
and everyone leaves, and he just kind of sits back in the chair. Didn't you think that he was just going to drift off like the end of John Wick 4?
I didn't see John Wick 4, so I don't know. Did you just spoil it for me?
Apparently. I spoiled a 2.5-hour movie by telling you the last
30
5 seconds of the movie.
Okay, so like if you're recommending to the audience The Gorge on Apple TV or Plane on Netflix.
I'd probably, for guys especially, the Plane. Because The Gorge is more of a romance, long, drawn-out movie. As opposed to this one is just, there's some drawn-out scenes, but it's kind of tense. Where the other ones are couples getting to know each other and that kind of stuff. So,
Like there was a lot of predictable, but it was enjoyable predictable.
yeah.
One of those paint-by-number movies that you're okay with.
Yeah.
Yeah, where the good guys can shoot and hit every target they aim at, and the bad guys can't hit a plane
With rockets.
with rockets.
With rockets.
Yeah. There's 40 guys aiming at the front of a plane, and they can't hit the little window.
Oh, you know what I did enjoy? They have this one sniper gun that it'll shoot through a car.
Yeah, that was great.
And the guy who they hit behind the car goes flying 10 feet.
Yeah.
That was a good gun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I would say, what would you rate it? Like, if you were to rate it?
I'll give it a 7.
I'll give it a 6.5.
I'll go 6.8. 6.8.
All right.
Yeah.
Love these ranking systems. You can just tell what every movie's like just by the ranking system, folks.
But yeah, you notice most of our ranks, like if you were to go back and watch all of our stuff, we're all like, 6, 7.
Not always. Sometimes we're a 4.
There are times.
Sorry, Bridget.
Sorry, Bridget.
That's
it.
our new intro.